Hello, beautiful person. I'm really glad you're here and welcome back to Becoming Her, a series about confidence, relationships, travel, and becoming the woman you know you're capable of being. Think of this as your daily big sister reminder, the things I learned the hard way so you don't have to. And today we are talking about something that many people carry quietly, the belief that they are hard to love. Very few people start life believing they are difficult to love. That belief usually forms slowly. Maybe you experience relationships where your needs were dismissed. Maybe you were told you were too emotional, too sensitive, too demanding. Maybe someone withdrew their attention when you expressed how you felt. And over time, you start interpreting those experiences in a very personal way. You start thinking, maybe I expect too much, maybe I'm a problem, or maybe I'm just hard to love. I can say that I'm personally very emotional and very soft. I was often told that it's something negative. I was often told to stop crying, to stop being so emotional, so sensitive, but people don't understand that it is very important to show your emotions, because if you will not show your emotions, you can actually end up with depression. And it's very important to be able to read other people's emotions and to be able to express your own emotions. It is very important to surround yourself with people who understand your needs and how you show your emotions. And if you're sensitive like me, they accept it, because not everyone has to be like, strong person. Some people are just soft souls, and that's it. Like, we are great people, and I'm sure there's loads of us on the earth. When painful experiences repeat, our minds start building stories that try to explain the hurt. Sometimes those stories sound like, I'm too intense, I'm not easy to be with, or people eventually get tired of me. But those are interpretations, not facts. Someone struggling to meet your emotional needs does not mean your needs are unreasonable. It may simply mean they are not capable of meeting them. Once that belief takes root, something else begins to happen. You start adjusting yourself. You become quieter about your need, you hesitate to speak up, you tell yourself not to expect too much. You start trying to become easier. Easier to date, easier to be around, easier to keep. But love isn't meant to be built on shrinking yourself. Real love doesn't require you to become smaller to maintain it. So, I always had a big problem with adjusting myself to other people and their needs. I always thought that my needs are not important. I always cared about other people's needs, and I was basically making sure that their needs are met. It's only when I started therapy and my therapist actually made me realize that this should not be happening, that I should put my own needs first, and that I should not be thinking that I'm a small person. I should think about myself as someone who is capable of achieving all of the goals, and that I'm not a small person. But for my whole life, I just seen myself as someone very small, because especially like at work, I was surrounded by a lot of people that were long in the company, just knew how to do everything, and I felt so small. They all just seemed so important, and I just kind of I just thought I wasn't important. So I basically thought of myself as a small little human walking around my workplace. I'm also a kind of person that would not be speaking up. Um, I don't really like to share my opinions that much, and if there's a big group of people, I wouldn't be really talking. I would be more listening and just watching their body language. It's just because I don't feel comfortable speaking when there's a lot of people around me. And because of that, when I was younger, I just had a feeling that I'm not good enough and that I will never be able to be with anyone because no one will like me for just being a quiet person. Healthy love doesn't make you feel like a burden. It doesn't make you question whether your emotions are acceptable. It doesn't punish you for having needs. Healthy love creates space for honesty, space for vulnerability, space for being human. It doesn't mean every moment is perfect, but it does mean you feel safe being yourself, and that safety allows connections to deepen. The truth is, being misunderstood by someone does not make it difficult. Being incompatible with someone does not make you unlovable. Being expressive does not make you too much. Sometimes what we interpret as being hard to love is actually just being with people who were not able to meet us where we are. The difference matters, because your worth does not change depending on someone's capacity. So gently ask yourself, where did I start believing I was hard to love? Was it one experience, a relationship, a pattern? And what if that belief isn't actually true? So becoming her means she stops measuring worth by how others respond to her vulnerability. She understands that not everyone has emotional capacity to love deeply, and she doesn't diminish her value. She doesn't apologize for having needs. She doesn't shrink her heart to make others comfortable. Instead, she allows herself to be loved by people who appreciate her depth, and those people exist, even if you haven't met all of them yet. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take a deep breath before you move on with your day. You're not too much. You are not difficult to love. You simply deserve someone capable of loving you well. You're not behind, you're becoming. Thank you for listening once again, and see you tomorrow. Bye!